What is going on, guys? My name is Lextasy and welcome back to the channel. So today, as you can tell, we got the Charger Redeye behind me. It is here at Mechanical Advantage Racing for some dyno pulls. We want to get some base numbers and see what this 797 horsepower crank actually looks like, well, at the wheel. So we're about to put it on there. The game plan was to put the Ram TRX, but turns out 145-inch wheelbase is kind of hard to fit anywhere, honestly, on an all-wheel drive dyno. So that's what we're trying to figure out next. But as of now, they're putting the car on the dyno, of course. Let's see what kind of numbers it puts on there. So without further ado, let's get this video going. What do you think it's gonna put down?
I want to see it crack 6, but I will say this dyno, it reads lower than I expect.
Okay.
Normally, so it's a little bit of a heartbreaker, but
so if it says 797 crank,
then I don't want to race this car. It's not tuned there. I put in enough to make it makes 400, and we towed another Subaru from Colorado with this car, which was
nice.
22 hours.
Wow.
22.
That's insane. So right now, what is it tuned to, you saying, to the wheels?
Is it 400?
400? Dude, I love it, man.
man.
And that, of course, front mount intercooler just gives everything away.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how much can you push it to, you said?
So this whole setup, on full kill, will go 700 wheel.
Holy crap.
Like you said, at that point, you are rolling the dice. It's a Subaru block, and they are made of, like, you know, rectangles. I took the shifter out of this, or out of one of the sequential kits,
That's
and
awesome.
I modified it so it's an H-pattern shifter, or shift pattern on sequential lever, so you barely have to come off the steering wheel to shift it. It's tuned so you can change your boost.
Oh,
you know,
that's
like
sick. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. I mean, how much have you dumped money into this thing? Like, how much you think you put into it?
I'm actually negative money in this car.
What? Wait,
No,
negative?
Like
what?
How? I bought the chassis for $4,000 with no tranny or engine, and then I rebuilt a broken race car trans that I had and put the shifter in. Engines all sponsor parts, old sponsor parts, or race car hand-me-downs.
Dude.
I actually have a video on YouTube. It's like 6 months ago in this car, like right after the build was done. I was devastated. A motorcycle rider on a Harley plowed through this corner of the car, and insurance paid out the whole car, and then I bought it back and then fixed it for like a fraction of what they paid.
Nice.
So it paid off all the original expense of the car, and now it's not perfect. There's a little misalignment and stuff, but
as long as it hauls out. So it's gonna do a few base pulls just to figure the whole car out, of course, and then we'll get on it. Maybe I'll even be able to jump in on the inside and see what he's doing on the computer, what it looks like. That'll be sick. Wish you luck, guys. Come on, power. We're at what? Max torque at 571, max power 427.
This is going to be dramatically different
right.
when we're done, because this is on the lowest load setting.
Okay.
You made an ass load of torque.
Oh yeah. Oh, that sucker loves torque.
You're showing on that pole 420 horsepower, but it's literally, I'm not loading the car.
Nice.
So we're gonna get more.
So while he's strapping everything down, I'm just going to step in here real quick so you can hear me. So okay, most dynos are Mustang dynos, right? Mustang dynos are like the ultimate, the most accurate dynos according to a lot of people. This is a Dynocom. Dynocom is still good. Usually runs a little bit higher numbers than normal, which is fine. It's just the way it is. But he says that from the cars he's put on this dyno, he's actually been reading really close to Mustang dyno numbers. So I don't know, hopefully whatever number we get is going to be accurate. So right now he's adjusting all the loads and stuff on the dyno, making sure it's going to read correctly. But even running on super low power, it put down to like 420 wheel and then 570 torque. So I don't know what to think of torque, man. I think torque is going to be higher than the wheel horsepower, which would be awesome. I think that's what usually happens on supercharged Hemis, but I don't know. We're about to find out, guys. So here comes the real pulls. Oh, I don't know what to think. I'm hoping 680, 690. Come on, 700. Give me 700. But that's wishful thinking. But let's go, guys. Let's watch this. 562 wheel, and then 599 torque. Not bad. Dang, that's still low though.
That mode that we just ran in worked for these 3 poles because it's not over 500 wheel.
Okay, okay.
But their recommendation, so you can see how when you're loading it, how your horsepower actually changing. So when you're going on interpolated load, we can also run in a static load scenario if we wanted. I was running here 250 to 499 and started here on those very first poles. So you're putting a load percentage of 2 to 6.
Oh, okay.
Percent. So it's almost like you're gradually going up a hill.
I got
But when you load for a higher horsepower, we're going to go 7 to
7%.
10. So think about it, like it's accelerating almost up a 7%.
Okay.
Great. So this is where we need to be, but I wanted to make sure that we have everything sorted.
What gear was that? Was that 4th?
That was still 3rd.
3rd gear. Wow. Okay.
So we'll run it in 4th. We'll get there. Your 4th gear, if I'm not mistaken, should make more horsepower, but probably dip down on 4th.
I would say so. Yeah. All right. So that one was on a lower load level, like for below 500 horsepower cars. Something about like the load was only 2% or something. I was gonna put it at 7%, and that was only 3rd gear pull. 1-to-1 on these in manual is 4th gear, and I think 1-to-1 in auto 6th gear. So we're just revving the car up. I know it's starting to get warmed up a bit, but I'm not worried. It does have a chiller, so if we have to activate it, we will. But he's got the fans blowing. It's doing great. 600 torque, 570 wheel, but that's not even getting the car going. So, oh man, come on, let's get to 700. I don't know, with a warm car like that or a hot car, it's gonna be tough to ask for those numbers, but screw it, let's see what happens.
565 wheel horsepower versus 562 on the last pull, and 599 foot-pounds versus 598.
Wow.
That is like a dead, almost identical pulls. I went a little deeper in the throttle on the first one as we started.
Wow, it's got more to give, that's for sure.
Oh, it definitely does. As the load ramped, it actually really pissed it off, and because the dyno was overpowering the car. And you know, also fueling wasn't perfect, so it had a dip in power at the same time the dyno ramped, and you could feel it in carbon. Yours is driving straight through.
Nice.
And like, this was the Subaru in the end. Once it's all sorted, it was able to actually ramp up and drive through.
Yep.
But I mean, this is a Subaru on. We were like 18 pounds of boost, and he had a bigger turbo. Nothing crazy big. Right. Slightly bigger, versus. Where this thing, like, right at 3,000 RPM, you're making more wheel horsepower than that car at.
Oh, this is insane. Oh, I'm excited. Y'all gonna flame me for that one. I don't know where I got 680 from, but 680 is only like less than 15% drivetrain loss. So yeah, that would not be happening on a 4,500 pound car. So right now we hit like 580s, I think, wheel and 600 torque, but that is on a what is a 3rd gear pull. So 4th gear, if we truly get to 20% drivetrain loss, you're talking probably low 6s. Maybe I was wrong. I think my Hellcat actually probably did like 560 to the wheel, so I may have been off on my numbers, but I don't know, man. I mean, sure, I'm still okay with low 600s to the wheels. That's not bad. It would match up to thinking about 20% drivetrain loss, so yes, that does make sense. I was hoping for higher numbers. I don't know where it came up from. I'm not going to delete that whole thing I talked about when I started this video. That's what I thought. My math was just way off, but either way, man, low 600s, I'll take that all day. So this is a good base point. I just got my quotes for work getting done on this car and the TRX, so that should be happening pretty quickly, guys, within a few weeks. So I'm excited, but let's just put the sucker, he's about to give it all it's had and see what happens. So wish me luck, hope nothing blows up. So freaking red eyes, dude, no joke, man. There really aren't. Even 600 wheel horsepower and 600 torque, that's pretty strong. That's incredible. All right, guys, last pull. Come on, 600s. I gotta see 600 wheel. don't know. It's a heavy car. He's trying to cool it off right now, so he's got the chiller activated, so hopefully that helps. We're trying to break the 600 mark, but it's fighting us, man. It really is. I don't know if it's the dyno or if the car. I don't know where I got 680 from. I'm just gonna be honest here. This is the truth right here. I didn't know, but if we hit low sixes, I'll be happy at this point. Let's just do that. Torque is there. It's always been there. We know Hellcats for that, but he's just trying to cool it off, and we'll do one more really, really strong pull and see what the heck it does, and we'll go from there. .591 and 606. Not bad. Not bad. God, that's a beautiful curve though.
No, it is. Look at how literally
we're close. We're right there. So if you think about it, my Hellcat did 560 wheel, and this is 590, so it makes sense. Bigger blower, same motor though, more horsepower, I guess, with the blower. So 30 wheel horsepower. Oh my God, my ears are ringing. I shouldn't have been that close to that car. But, you know, 590 is not bad. 591, we're trying to hit 600. So he's really, really going to let it cool off, and we'll go from there. Oh, I don't know where I got 680 from. I really overthought this. I don't know why, but hey, it's a learning process. So at least we know what's going to happen with the build, though. We should be able to get 800, 850, no problem at all, which is significant improvement from 600 to jump 200 to 250 wheel. That's awesome. 600 torque? That's what's impressive. That's what really rips the rear tires on these cars. That's why I love Mopar. They just do stupid stuff like that, but we're going to give it one more shot. We really, really want to hit the 600 wheel mark, so hopefully we can, because I'd love to leave home with those numbers, but let's cool it off and go from there. It's been cooling off for about 15 minutes, so let's see what it does. Dude, there we go. 650 torque, 619. Yeah, buddy. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, let me clear that. Let me just delete the old graphic.
Yeah, that one was weird.
Yep, you are at 619.
Yes.
That's after we cooled the car down, used your track mode, and used the cooler. I have that turned on.
We hit 613, 619 wheel, and 646 torque. So 650 torque horsepower. I'm just excited, okay? I was depressed because I was like, man, we can't even hit 600 wheel, but we did. So we're at 646 torque, 613 or 619 wheel horsepower. So that definitely adds up to what we thought would happen. We are back again. This is actually going to be a two-part video out of nowhere. So after we got done that first day of just, you know, doing the dyno pulls, working it, we're just thinking like the numbers ain't matching up. Something is not right. Why did it only put down like low 600s for an 800 horsepower car from factory? So we started talking to each other. Then my buddy Michael, which you all know, came down here with this Charger as well as one of his Demons, and they put down numbers that were substantially higher than where we were at. So we started thinking that maybe because
Ran it in all-wheel drive mode on the dyno with a rear-wheel drive car, and what that gives us an opportunity to do is basically use the dyno as a rolling road.
Yep.
And then that will bypass any issues with throwing the car into limp mode or messing with ABS, which the factory control systems will end up reducing the power if it sees that scenario. And me not being familiar with the car, this seemed like the easiest way to get a consistent, properly running car. But what will happen is, you can see on this side of the dyno, we'll link up. You got your gear connector here that links this roller with this pulley, and then runs it all the way up to the front rollers. So we'll drive the front rollers with the rear wheels of the car, but you're also going to have to turn your front wheels. So this isn't the optimal way to run a rear wheel drive car if you can't, or if you can bypass all of those fail-safe systems.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
And yeah, when we had the Demon come in, those guys very familiar with the system showed how to disable and bypass all that and put it in a dyno mode. So now we're going to rerun it with that bypassed. We're unlinked, and we'll run it properly in rear wheel drive, which will give us an actual accurate number.
Yep. So what he's pretty much saying is we were sandbagging the numbers on purpose. But no, this was a really good experience. So what he's talking about, in the front there's a fuse box here. So if you pop it out, you'll be able to see that there's a F05 and F06, a 30 amp and a 40 amp fuses. If you pull these suckers out, your ABS is pretty much disconnected, which is exactly what we're trying to do. That way, now that we're running just in the rear wheel, the computer won't be able to stop us or shut us down or take the power away or anything like that. So all he has to do is put in track mode, and we should be fine now and be able to get more accurate results. So I am still hoping for like 680s, 690s, maybe 700s, but I don't know if that's possible or not. So I'm not trying to take up all his time, but we're about to jump on here and see what it really does. So good luck, guys. But if anybody's doing this, like I said, make sure you pop out those ABS 2 amps or 2 fuses, and then you should be able to do what you got to do. So without further ado, guys, let's do this. So of course you're going to have all kinds of lights come on, the ABS light on, the electronic stability control is an issue, but what we're going to do is we're going to go in performance right now, and I think, well, it's under Dyno, which we don't need. Where is it? I might be under SRT, but we want to turn the chiller on is what we're trying to do. Boom. So once we activate that, that should be able to drop our IAT temps a little bit, cool this engine off, and get more accurate numbers, guys. So let's get that going. So we're just going to be watching this intake temperature drop below 129, of course, and that will definitely help us get better results. First pull, and we're at 678 and 710 torque. 710 torque, guys. Yes, we're back on track. Oh man, I feel so much better. By the way, this guy literally knows everything. Like, he has a CNC machine. He's doing some sort of 3D printing. He's got engine builds going on. He's got a ton of fast cars in here. I don't know if I'm allowed to show it or not, but guys, this is like a legitimate shop, man. Oh, I'm so happy. All right, let's just keep pulling it. I gotta get that 700. I'm so excited.
Yeah, those are...
Dude, so much better though.
Yeah, look at, you're like peeking out right now.
Yeah, this engine's definitely cooking up in here. So we're gonna let it actually cool off. So we tried running it on the rollers and using the chiller, but I think the engine has to be off in order for the chiller to work. So we're gonna give that a try, because the horsepower dropped by like 18. So that's kind of big to go from 678 to 660. But anyways, why am I here at 9 o'clock at night with these guys, bothering them this late at night? And I feel so bad. Well, it's because literally 2 days from now, this car will be at the shop at Mass Acceleration. The guy that I met at the drag strip, you guys seen that? He's gonna be the one tearing that engine apart, and well, not doing a lot of engine work just yet, but we're gonna max out that engine on 93 pump as much as we can. So the goal is gonna be 800 horsepower, which is approximately 950 or so, or maybe 1,000 crank. I don't know how much we end up pushing it to, but while we're there, of course, we are gonna be dynoing the TRX as well. So they're gonna be taking the drive line off and just doing it in rear wheel drive. But there's so much that's gonna be happening, guys. I'm so excited. I'm 9 o'clock at night. I just got off a 12-hour work day, and I'm over here just like super excited to do this. This is like the best part of my day, I swear. Love my kids, love my wife, but I love horsepower. There's just no other way to put it. So we're gonna let this sucker really cool off, and then do maybe 1 or 2 more major pulls and see if we can get that 700 mark. Like I said at the start of this video, 680, 690 is what I was hoping for. 678 super close, 710 torque. That's insane on a 4-door sedan. Keep that in mind, guys. This whole time when we're going to be building this car, keep in mind we're building it on a 4-door sedan, 4,500 pound coupe weight, and it's going to be insane what it's going to do. It's going to pop wheelies. Take my word, mark it down, write it down. This car, by the end of this season, is going to be putting up some wheelies. There's just no other way to put it. It's going to happen. So we're literally 500 RPM slower or less. It cuts off 500 RPM lower than the Demon would, even though it's the same pretty much powertrain, same setup, same blower. So that is what's giving us the lower horsepower, lower torque numbers as well, because it just doesn't carry it far enough. Like that extra 500 RPM on the top end is what you need to be able to really max out this car. So literally, like you said, just unlocking the PCM or the engine will give us that power, but I still want to see what we can max out on the motor. So he's about to run it one more time, see if we get over that 678 mark. Engine should have cooled off by now, so we'll see. What? What is that?
It is a Hellcat. 666.
666 and 692. That's crazy. Wow. Pretty much staying consistent at that 667 mark, and looks like 670 torque. So probably where we thought it would be at. Wow. That's getting really consistent now. That's still better. Like you said, it picked up 40 RPM rear wheel or more.
Yeah, one question I have. Do you know which gear is closest to 1-to-1.
So he said in manual it's the 4th, and then in auto it's the 6th gear. That's what every shop has said so far. What gear was that you were running?
I'm running in 4th.
4th gear? Okay.
That 4th gear is
I
nasty.
think you're gonna make less torque but more power.
All right, so the last and final attempt, I hope you can hear me, is we're gonna run it, instead of 4th gear, we're gonna run in 5th gear, which is the closest to 1-to-1. Technically it's the 6th gear, but we don't wanna get that high up in the speed. So 5th gear, here it comes. Let's see what that does. 679 and 664 torque. So a little less torque, but yep, there's the number. So we're getting there.
Well, I did call 685.
No way. 685 and 678, man. We'll take that. That's awesome. Wow. I think that's maxed out, brother. Honestly.
I mean, yeah,
So much better. We came up from what, 619?
Yes.
So you're talking 60
Yeah,
wheel. Wow.
I mean, and that 619 was almost the outlier too. If you remember, we did a bunch and we were at like the 600 to 610, and then we had the one 619. So it's a ways away.
Oh, that's a really good starting spot now. So 685 and what was it, 674?
I just wish whatever happened on this pull, first pull we did today,
Right.
that one was super happy. And
That's 710 torque too.
yeah, so I mean, keep in mind this was also 4th gear,
Oh, that's right. That's
but
right.
it didn't rev out. So yeah, it's probably not the most accurate of all of them, but
God,
it's not bad. It is going. I mean, if you can get some more ignition timing,
Yeah.
or I don't know what else you do with these cars in terms of even ethanol. Like if you were on ethanol and you could increase that ignition timing, this is significant. Because
Oh,
you
yeah.
look at the other Charger was on ethanol, and you can just see. Look at how even his torque holds. And he did.
Wait, he
back
was
to
on
back.
ethanol?
Yeah,
The white one?
I believe so. That's what I swear he said. Bolt-ons and ethanol.
Mother.
Which, you know, in a Subaru, it's almost 100.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you're getting a little. It's not necessarily better power density. Ethanol actually has worse power density, but it's stoichiometric ratio, which is you're burning all parts air to all parts fuel. Is lower, so you need to hit that ratio, you need to add more fuel. So in general, even though per, I guess, molecule of ethanol, you have less power, you have more molecules in the cylinder at any given point in time, and it's like 30% more fuel you need to put in to hit the same equilibrium.
The Legacy made 350 on one map and then 426 on the 85 map.
Yeah.
Just from the 85, nothing else but E.
Yeah,
Wow.
And that's 90 wheel from gas.
So yeah, you
insane.
get
Pretty
a
good.
little more combustion capability with ethanol, and because it's not technically rated in octane. I forget what it is, but the like equivalent is like 106 octane.
Yeah.
If you were on a regular gas. So you have that resistance to detonation, so you can ramp the ignition timing, and a couple degrees of ignition timing can be a lot of power.
Oh, I can't wait to bring this
And
back.
it runs.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
So-
that's true.
Can you do E85 on stock fuel system, like an E30 mix or something?
No, not on this. So this has dual fuel pumps, but you can just, if you have to do 85, you got to go bigger injectors, of course, which we're putting 1340s, and you got to do a bigger pump as well already. So we're going to max it out on 93 and see what it does, and then we'll go from there. So
Give me time to get my car together.
I know, man. You got to hold your own record.
We both gotta get on.
Dude, this is awesome. I'm happy, man. 685, guys, 670 torque, something like that. I'm totally fine. That's exactly what I was saying. It would be like 680. So that is exactly where we want to start. And like I said, guys, give me like 2-3 weeks, or hopefully quicker. We'll see how MXA can get us in, but we're going to get this car dialed in even more. We're going to put the slicks on. We're going to put the drive shaft on, which we should have done before the drag strip. And then we're just going to let this sucker eat. Street racing, drag racing, it don't matter. We're doing it all. So this is going to be a lot of fun, guys. Thank you, Kendall, for being here at 10 o'clock at night. Sorry, man. Oh, it's pretty late, man. That's all my fault. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your lives, enjoy cars, and I'll see you next time. Peace.